my first VOD analysis. Today we're going to be watching mostly this one Korean Zyra player, but also potentially some other Zyra players as well. So what this is part of a video series where I'm trying to learn from other Zyra players, specifically Zyra mains who are Master and above. So I'm not even watching people in my own league of Diamond 1 right now. Mostly to improve, see how other people do things, see common Zyra mistakes and things that are good for Zyra to do. All right, so we're gonna start off with this first game. It's gonna be Zyra. Oops, I didn't organize these yet. Zyra and Vayne against Twitch and Bard. So I'm expecting this lane to be good for Zyra. So both Zyra and Bard are pretty strong early game, but and kind of ironically, Twitch and Vayne are both not that strong early game. That being said, if Vayne can land a condemn against the wall, the Zyra Vayne lane has a lot of kill pressure. All right. Quick information, just some background. Zyra runs some fairly strange runes and masteries. All right. So specifically, this Zyra in this game is running full magic penetration marks. The blues are split between ability power and mana regen. So if you want to run mana regen, I think that's okay. I don't think it's great and I don't recommend it, but it's fine. The ability power blues are what is a little strange to me. Health yellows, very standard, and then 2 armor quints and 1 ability power quint. And again, armor quints are also pretty standard on Zyra. I don't do it that often, but it's fine. Ability power, kind of strange that this Zyra prioritizes ability power. And then the only thing that I think is noteworthy, I guess there's 3 noteworthy things in the masteries. They are running battle trance instead of double-edged sword, which I think is a mistake. But it's not game-breaking mistake. They're running exposed weakness instead of fresh blood, which again is something I don't prefer, but it's fine. It's the better mid and late game spell. They are running 1 point in meditation with the other 4 in merciless. Pretty common. I don't do it. And they're running bandit instead of Greenfather's gift and precision instead of intelligence. So a slightly different play style, going to be more focused, less focused around the laning phase and more focused for a little later on. That being said, running ability power in your runes instead of magic penetration does make your very early game a little more powerful. Magic penetration really starts being effective when you start stacking it up. So without that stacking up, ability power is fine. Let's see how this plays out, shall we? This is my first spectate in a long time, so it's very likely going to be interesting. So standard typical Zyra start, you either ward for your jungle, or I should turn off directed camera. You either ward for your jungle or spawn some plants. So she's spawning some seeds, and by ward for your jungle I mean leash for your jungler. Yeah, he's calling her back. All right, so this is kind of weird because he didn't get the seeds to start, but he also didn't get the seeds to leash for the jungler. I think that's just the miscommunication from solo queue. I don't think there's too much to read into that. Even trying to tank some hits though. This guy's a nicer Zyra player than I am. Alright, so they call MIA nice. Alright, so it's because their bottom lane started bottom. This Zyra knows that Lee Sin started top. She's gonna have to be really careful around level 3. They're also gonna lose the push war, so Zyra's not gonna get too early, and she's gonna get ganked around 3 minutes from the Lee Sin, probably, since he started up top. Or, you know, maybe not even probably, but it's something she's gonna have to be aware of. Luckily, they got most of that CS, so now probably just gonna auto attack by the bind. Bard is much stronger than Zyra. Level 1, unless you get really lucky passive plant, so she's just trying to survive until that level 2. Also, I didn't touch on the starting items. She started biscuits. Definitely a good call against a Bard. If you don't have biscuits against a Bard, he can completely poke you out level level 1, and then you're just going to be useless. Level 2, you can start thinking about trading into a Bard, but level 3 is really when you can hold your own and even dominate the matchup. So I'm expecting mostly farming, with the only poke just to establish some kind of pressure to protect the Vayne, is what I'm expecting from this matchup. Bard's gonna go ward. All right, so this is something that I see all the time, and I think as a jungler, it's very important to be cognizant of. So LeBlanc, she has priority mid. She shoved in the Kassadin. Rengar is strong. He wants to invade the Lee Sin. However, Zyra has low health, and they're shoved in. So while this is originally a 2v1 because of LeBlanc's pressure, it's going to become a 2v3 because of bot lane's pressure. So it's a risky invade. I don't know how it's going to play out. So let's check it out. So he gets the blue buff, LeBlanc flashes, and the bot lane could not collapse in time. So it turns out to be a good decision, but it can potentially be risky if it takes a while. So it also is kind of nice because it brings them away from the bot lane, giving Zyra a little extra time to have some breathing room, let that pot tick up. And of course she hit level 2, scaled W, very standard start of starting Q, leveling W afterwards, and then a very standard QW combo when Twitch was going to last hit right there. Pretty typical stuff so far. And again, Zyra's not going to probably try to do much until level 3 in this matchup. Level 3 is pretty good for Vayne as well. She gets access to all of her skills. The Condemn can be really strong, chaining the CC with Zyra's root. So on the spectate client, does it let you see how many seeds she has? It doesn't look like it. It looks like you can only see if she has 1 at least, which is a bit unfortunate. All right, so where's the experience for her too? Drat. Again, QW combo. Wasn't in range to auto attack, so she didn't. Seed's coming up soon. All right, there's the level 3. Now I'm expecting a little bit more from her. So what you want to do at this point in the level 3 is start to play up. When Twitch goes for the last hit, you can Q him. If he sidesteps the Q, you can E him. If Bard is walking too far forwards, you're gonna have to actually put attention to him. Also, I didn't touch, but Doran Shield start from Twitch means he's gonna be resistant to poke. So what you need to do against a Doran Shield start is put more purple below the mana. Thank you, Winja. What you need to do in this situation is either do a lot of damage quickly or just kind of farm for your Spell Thief's gold. Again, both of these 80 carries are hyper scaling 80 carries. Good route as Twitch is coming forwards. Pretty typical combo right there. So something that's... So she warded here for the Lee Sin. I guess that's fine. Walking really far forwards up here. What? Here, hold on. I want to see this before I know how it plays out. So she had the good harass, right? She has no seeds now. This overlay is a little bugged. She has no seeds right now. And watch what happens. The Vayne trades after Zyra's used all of her stuff. Luckily, he doesn't get stunned. And they have a big minion wave, which is good. Goes the ward. And then they have a... So what I think they're trying to do here is utilize the fact that they have a really big minion wave and a health advantage. He gets on the Bard, but just goes so far forwards. And this is where the minion wave really does a lot. Because they can't... So they had a bad trade. Zyra had a bad trade. She had to flash out. But because of this minion wave, and that's why they were aggressive. They were playing around the minion wave, I think. Because of this minion wave, they can't chase through. Bard went to flash in to get the kill on Zyra, but Twitch, there's no way Twitch is running through all of these minions. Minions do so much damage early on, and the heal comes in even over the grievous wounds, or is it after the grievous wounds? I don't see the debuff, and this Bard is dead. Oh, he is magical journey. Close. So forcing around the minion waves is really good. This diving into the turret, this is gonna end in tears though. Lee Sin's gonna blast cone over. I would be surprised if either of these laners survived. Oh, he actually didn't blast cone over. So only one of them will die. Nope, there it is. There it is. Yeah, diving level 3 as a Zyra Vayne is a bad idea. If you are going to dive, one of the best things that you can do is popping a plant over here. This allows you to do two things. If you use a seed, it will give you vision for 60 seconds, and it will allow you to auto attack the blast plant. And if you auto attack the blast plant, it becomes a lot harder for junglers to get over and gank you. Now Lee Sin could still ward hop over the wall, but if he ward hops over the wall, then he doesn't have access to his ward hop to get into position to attack you. All right. So Lee Sin's not probably taxing here, maybe a little bit, but the Twitch does want Lee Sin to stay here. They want to shove in the wave as often as possible. You want to shove in the wave because then the turret kills the wave. Not only does that deny the creeps and the gold, but also denies the experience. Also, because they had a bigger wave, if Zyra had the time to catch the wave, she could have frozen it, which leaves it in a really bad spot and leaves the Twitch very vulnerable. Twitch is very vulnerable to ganks, and Bard can only help him get out of it if they're near a wall that has a good magical journey. All right, so what happened at this point is the this is something that I didn't see the chat logs to see it, but something you always need to be aware of as Zyra. So they killed the Bard pretty early. Bard's not gonna walk back into this lane without Twitch, and they know Twitch isn't gonna be here soon. So what is Bard, of all champions, any support will do this, but what is Bard gonna do? He's gonna roam. So it's very important to ping it out in this situation because there's almost zero chance that this Bard is going to be bot lane right now. All right, so this Zyra actually did a very standard first buy from what I do. Is a pink ward and a Frostfang. Make sure you always have enough potions. Pretty typical, pretty greedy, but I like to greed. That's how I play. Interesting to see them playing in a similar fashion. All right, there's the MIA pings on the Bard, which is good. And I think it was actually a little too safe to pink ward here. I think it would have been a lot better to pink ward further up since they're going to be shoving. They have pressure on the Twitch. Twitch is unable to dodge most of Zyra's spells, which is stealthing up. This is actually a really scary time for you as Zyra, when you don't know where their jungler is and you don't know where their support is when it's a Bard, because they can just wait in an ambush right here. One of the things I really like to do in this situation is, again, seed over the wall. Even if you don't have a trinket, your seed can spot them waiting for a magical journey, and it can give you a lot more safety. But again, they have a big minion wave here, so they're pretty safe. EW QW combo right there for harass. Was a bit optimistic. Let's see what they do. There it is. Exactly. Now this is this is a little strange though. They warded over the wall. Probably just a solo queue miscommunication. But what you can actually do is if you stand right here, you can Zyra seed into this brush. So this seed's not giving them any vision. This ward is giving them vision. Maybe this ward doesn't quite reach, but it's doing very little. A seed in the brush would actually help a lot more. Not trying to necessarily say she doesn't know what she's doing, but just trying to say what's optimal. But this gives them a large amount of safety from the Lee Sin. Playing against the typical play pattern. So they have a level up on Bard. They should be pretty aggressive here, but they're playing back a little bit because the jungler is here. Whenever you want your jungler to gank for you, it's very important that you don't give it away. If you're just playing normally and all of a sudden you're running at your opponent, then, you know, if they're paying attention, they're going to go, okay, why is this guy running towards me? The jungler must be here. But if you kind of play a little scared, a lot of times you give them confidence and they'll play up in turn. And that can give you an advantage and can be a good bait. So there's Twitch has Flash. Pretty unlikely even with Flash he's gonna survive this. All right. Yep. And that's how it plays. If you miss your roots, hard to do stuff. Also, Bard is very often going to be playing around this wall because he can magical journey out. If Bard's playing on this side, he can't do anything. Also, if Bard's playing on this side, he can Q you against the wall. So what I want to see from Zyra right now is just to get some poke on the Twitch. He has sustain, but if they can get some poke before Zyra hits level 6, they're going to have a lot of kill pressure at 6. So just shove the wave in, if possible, and get that level 6, because they do have an experience advantage over the opponents. The plant and the minion both took the Q there, so Bard didn't get the stun on Zyra, which is interesting. Alright, Twitch is level 6. Zyra's going to hit level 6 shortly. Bard recently hit level 5. And it looks like they just want to go for turret damage. Lee Sin looks like he's getting ready to fight. Twitch is stealthing in. Alright, so how is this going to play out? They're forcing this, and I think they can force this. Zyra has Ignite. If Zyra had Exhaust, it would probably help. But it's going to be really... See, here's what I don't like, right? Twitch wants to collapse on them. So if they run away from the Twitch, they're in towards the Lee Sin. But who are you fighting against? You're fighting against a Vayne. Why are you walking into a brush in the wall when there's a Vayne there? Vayne lands a knockback. Twitch gets stunned for sure. Zyra lands a root, does a lot of burst. They're probably still going to run away because they're getting ganked. But Twitch is in very serious danger right here. Alright, so he runs back. They sniff it out. Bard doesn't have ult, he can't force it. Twitch decides, hey, I don't want to suicide. He doesn't force it either. Again, trading with the minion wave. You want to be more aggressive when you have more minions than them. It's most important early game, but it works even after that as well. The AD carry does have an item disadvantage on Zyra's team, which may make them a little hesitant to fight. But again, they have the level 6 advantage over Bard for a little longer. I would like to see Zyra playing a little further up, but I guess she knows that Lee Sin's nearby. I think that was pinged out pretty recently, so they're respecting the gank. Enemy team also has double teleport, although I don't know how much a Lucian teleport's gonna do. So Lee Sin is still bottom. Zyra's still playing scared. See how far back she's playing? It's just because she thinks the Lee Sin's gonna be there. There's no other reason to be so far back. I don't like that she started with the E there. Starting with the Q is better in most situations. This is, once she has her E on cooldown, this is the indication for Lee Sin to go. Probably gonna just pop the ultimate and flash away. With the plant, she has her, yep, there it is. Doesn't even need a flash. Look at all this damage, free damage that they're getting from the minions and 3 ulted Q plants. Notice if these were ulted E plants, they'd be doing almost nothing. Ulted Q plants are going to give them a lot of damage, and they should actually win out on this trade. Yeah, it's a positive net trade for the Zyra team. Now, Lee Sin could have gotten a kill if he did a kick flash. But he may have died. I don't think so. And at the end of the day, nothing happens. Which is actually probably pretty good for the Twitch Bard lane, since Zyra Vayne has a lot of kill pressure at level 6. But at the very least, go forwards. Zyra's maxing E. And if you max E, it's even more important that you don't miss it, which is a lot of times why I recommend, regardless of what you're maxing, to lead with a Q. It's more reliable damage, and it lets them dodge predictably, which makes it easier to land your E. When you're maxing E, that's Nice. It becomes very important that you hit it, which is another reason why I've started putting more points in Q, because I'm bad at skill shots. So if I put points in Q, it's easier to land my abilities that do damage. So Zyra backed. She got... Okay, this is really strange to me. I like the Sightstone buy. Lee Sin was bot side for a good like 3 minutes straight. But I don't like the refillable potion buy. I think it's very strange to buy it so late in the game. A 10-minute refillable potion's not that gold efficient. He could have bought it on the first back. I think he was right to start with biscuits. But if you're going to buy it later, buy it on the first back, not the second back. I think 10 minutes is too late. But other than that, I think the Sightstone's a good call with all the pressure that Lee Sin has given to the bot lane. They're not fighting too much, so being safe is fair. Again, starting with the E. Landed it in this case, but barely. Really think you get a lot of mileage out of starting with a Q in a combo. I mean, in a perfect world, starting with an E is good, but we don't live in a perfect world. Alright, 2 good E's in a row. A lot of good damage here. If Vayne had ult, oh, she does have ult. She wants to farm. Alright, that pushed the Twitch back. They're just going to shove forward and get some turret damage here. Zyra's kind of low, popping those refillable potions. Wait, where is she? Does this actually show how many charges? Yes, it does. So their bot lane has to be really scared right here because they heard the dragon sound and they don't know where Rengar is. That's why Lee Sin's coming down here. Well, actually, this is also the only place where he has a camp, which is probably contributing to that as well. So they got about half of the turret health off of that push. All right, so here's something that you can kind of watch for. If you're the red side knows that they just did dragon and doesn't know where LeBlanc and Rengar is. So red side should be very scared here. So if Twitch is playing up, that means somebody's coming to help him. So you need to respect it. Again, they have the ward here. That's a great ward to get into Bard. They got it when they were getting turret damage. They knew Bard had back, so it was a safe time to get the ward, and it's going to help them a lot. So they know Bard is waiting for something. So Zyra has all of her spells up. She's kind of low. She's playing back. And if they force on the Vayne, Zyra should just be able to disengage and make it fine. I don't think red side can do anything here. So here's the force. Zyra's getting her combo ready. Vayne is gonna, looks like she's gonna try to 1v1 Twitch with the minion wave. She does have a minion advantage, but Twitch has a level advantage, so. Yeah, and Bard just can't do anything here. Forced into all the ulted Zyra plants. Twitch won, or Vayne won the 1v1. She is a better 1v1 champion than Twitch. And yeah, that's what happens. This ward, give them information. And it's really hard to force into Zyra. There goes the first turret. Zyra's probably gonna back, get some health, get some items, probably get some boots. Vayne stopped Zyra's back because he wants to shove it in a turret. Probably so they can lane swap and go top and get top pressure. Very common thing in higher elo to take the first turret as a bot lane and then go top. We'll see if they do it or not. Their enemy top laner is a Lucian top. So that's kind of interesting. That being said, Kayle is winning. So if they want to just stay bottom lane and have the Kayle continue to bully him, I think that's a lot of times worth it. Too often people just do what they think is normal. A lot of times people do the same thing every single game. Oh, this is what we do in League of Legends. Let's do it every single game. That's not the right way to play the game. Don't go the same masteries every time. Don't go the same runes every time. Don't go don't go the same item build every time. You can go the same item build 99% of the time, but as long as every time you're thinking, okay, is this what's actually optimal to do? So a lot of times, if top laner is dumpstering the enemy top laner, you don't want to stop that. You want to keep that going. So in that case, you don't lane swap. But if top lane is even, a lane swap can help you get this early turret. But I think Kale's already going to get early turret pressure on her own. So what are the item buys? Yep, the boots. I really like this purchase. I was curious as to what she was going to do since she didn't get the boots earlier. This is going to give her even more magic penetration, and I think 25 to 45. Normal boots give 25 movement speed, and sorcerer boots get 45. I think that's not an insignificant increase. Apparently, I can't hover over torque boots. So I like the item buy. It's going to give her more penetration too. She's not running that much penetration in her runes. So she only has 26 right now, but it's still going to be a lot of pain, especially against the enemy team who has no MR, besides the MR that they naturally get from leveling up. So helping Twitch shove out right here. Presumably after they shove out, they're going to get vision in the enemy bot side jungle and make plays around mid and bottom. Normally when this situation happens, that's what I like to do. But you have to be a little careful in most situations. So again, what do they want to do? They want to shove this out, go get some vision here, get some vision here, and then keep on dominating the 2v2. I wouldn't say they're dominating. They're winning though. Ninja Tabby on the Vayne is actually pretty good into this comp. So normally the danger for that is it leaves you really exposed to getting teleported behind. But I mean, is the losing Lucian top really going to have much TP pressure? No. So let's see if they do what I would recommend. The reason Zyra is down here is twofold: to get experience and to make sure the Vayne doesn't get surprised. Against the Twitch, you always have to respect the fact that he can stealth on you with teammates. This is something, by the way, that this Zyra did that I don't do often enough, and a lot of people don't do often enough, is killing this blast plant when you're bottom. When you're making a player on Dragon or when you're bottom lane, this blast plant can do a lot for the enemy. So just seeding over the wall or warding over the wall and killing it can do a lot. Oh, I should actually provide this information to you guys. There we go. This is provided the link to Twitch chat for this video. So yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. Shoving in bot and then getting vision in the enemy's jungle so they can just continue to win the lanes that they're already winning. Lee Sin looks like he's going to go for engage here. This could potentially be 2v3, but Rengar can easily come with ultimate. And if they can buy enough time with Zyra's ultimate, then they're going to have a pretty good time with this fight. Exhaust would really come in handy here, but he has Ignite. Let's see what happens. Enemy team looks like they're respecting the Rengar ultimate. Twitch just wants to farm. Yeah, now the enemy team knows that Rengar is near. All right, Bard with the force. This is not going to end well for the Bard. If you don't hit anyone with that Bard ultimate, you just need to leave, because Zyra and Vayne are going to mess you up. They even know that the Rengar is there. Okay, so here's something interesting, and I don't do it very often. Zyra began this burst combo with an RQ W. I think one of these was a passive seed, but I think the other one was a W. And this just immediately says, hey, if you guys are fighting in here, we are going to be having the advantage. So a lot of time in a burst combo, you set up your plants first, you use your spells first, and then you ultimate to follow up because you can get the follow up on the root. This says, hey, I'm establishing my turf right now. And it forces the enemy team to run away. And we get something kind of extra nice here because of the placement of this. I don't know if it was intentional or just coincidental, but they can't go around to get to the Lee Sin without going through the Zyra ult. So Twitch is going to run this way, Bard is running that way, and it looks like they're just going to be able to collapse on the Lee Sin. So these plants doing a lot of work. That Zyra flash though. These Q plants did actually so much work. Oh, and he didn't even die to the Cassidon. Yeah, this game's over. The Lucian teleport, though, finishing him off. All right. I'll watch a little bit more of this game, but it's looking pretty over. Wait, this game's only 15 minutes long. Oh, they're going to forfeit. All right, and that's the game. Oh, man. I'm going to get some water, and we're going to do another one. Let me know if you guys have any questions or things you want to see in the next game. I know Gonthorian mentioned he wanted to potentially see a game with Fog of War on. I might do the next game. Give me your thoughts. I need to fill up some water, though. My throat's getting pretty dry. All right, good to know.